Day 282 of documenting my e-commerce store. The failures, the success, everything, all completely raw. So, yesterday was a pretty slow day. I already talked about that in the last update yesterday. We did end off the day with 2 orders, so not that great. It is a Saturday, so typically weekends are a lot slower for the brand for whatever reason, even though people are shopping typically more on the weekends after they've worked through the week, they have more free time, but less sales come in with my product. So $865 yesterday, and then today, it's pretty much end of day today. We're sitting at 3 orders, about $1,200 in sales. Profitable day. Yesterday was, I believe we lost about $100 to $200. Today we're profitable today, so that is great. But yeah, still slow because it's the weekend. Typically, the weekdays are best for us. Mondays, so tomorrow, are typically one of the better days for us. And then the weeks just continue getting better. But overall, this week has been absolutely crazy still. Even with these few days that have been, slow, not very many sales, it's been great. We also got about 18 leads today with our ads for the new sales guy to call up tomorrow. So he's going to be testing. I'm basically trying him out, see how he does. I'm giving him 18 calls to do tomorrow. See how he does, and see if he's able to convert any. Because if I can get a second sales guy into do calls, and I can ramp up the call side as well, that will help out quite a lot in terms of reconverting people that leak through, and also scaling that side of the business as well. Because right now, we're only scaling the side where people buy directly on the website. So we're trying to scale up the two sides. The other thing is I'm considering looking into Google ads. So right now I'm only on Facebook ads. I've been running Facebook ads for the last 282 days so far of this brand with no other advertising. Still working great. The return on ad spend is like 4 or 5x some days. Overall, it's about a 4 to 5x. So still just absolutely crazy in terms of return on ad spend. And that's the great thing about selling a high ticket, expensive product. If I was selling a $30 product, and it cost me $10 to make, I'd only have $20 worth of room for advertising and getting a sale, which would leave me left with, $5 profit, depending on the cost per purchase, which is very difficult and stressful when you're just not making that much. But with my product, before ad spend included into the margins, the profit's around $300 profit. Okay, so that means we have $300 of room to get a sale, which is a lot. And typically we get a sale at about anywhere from $80 to $100 per purchase. We get a sale. So that's I had a couple questions in the last video about if high ticket is better or if I should sell a $40 product, whatever it may be. High ticket is better. It's just way easier and a lot less stress when it comes to ads, because I can realistically spend money on ads for 3 days straight, depending on my budget, that is, and how much I'm spending every day. But I can spend for like 3 days straight and not have to worry and stress about it not being profitable, because all I need is one sale to bring the money back. So that's why I like high ticket. But anyways, I just went off on a little bit of a tangent there. Looking into Google ads, because Facebook has been the primary driver, I want to look into doing some reconversion ads and brand ads on Google. So if someone sees my ad on Facebook and they type in my brand name on Google, or they search the product keywords on Google, my brand still comes up. Also, because a lot of my competitors are also using Google, and I have some unique selling propositions with my product that I think could compete better on Google. So Google is in the works, although I have no idea how to set up Google Ads, so I'm gonna have to watch some YouTube videos and figure that out myself. But yeah, so that is the update on the store. Another thing I wanted to talk about is tariffs. So tariffs have been all the talk right now with e-commerce and in the dropshipping space. Is tariffs gonna kill dropshipping? Or are tariffs, I should say. That's proper English. Come on, Jesse. Are tariffs gonna kill dropshipping? You know, can you still dropship with the tariffs? Yada 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 yada. Basically, all I had to do with my product is raise the price by $30, and I haven't had any issues. And matter of fact, I raised my product price by $100, and then raised it again by $30 when the tariffs started, coming out. And more people have been purchasing at the higher price versus the lower price. Why? My theory is maybe because my product is seen as a luxury, high ticket, type of product that people want to make sure, is good. And I think maybe the fact that people see that it's more expensive, it may portray the product in a way that is better, because, someone, if your goal is to get the absolute best product, are you going to buy the $280 one or the $500 one? Obviously, typically, the higher price means better quality. So that could be why, but I really don't know. But tariffs, have not had any problems with them. I just raised the price by $30. That's basically just to cover the tariffs. Now, I will say with lower ticket products, because I am continuously looking at other products that I could potentially sell, because I'm, thinking about starting another store alongside this one, whenever I find the opportunity for another product. I've noticed with lower ticket products, $40, $50 price tags, whatever it may be, the tariff is a lot harder to get around because you just can't sell it for, hundreds of dollars. So you can't really make up that tariff cost. Like I was looking at a product recently that would be $80 without the tariffs, and with the tariffs, it raised the price to like $150, which is crazy. And that product, you can't sell it at over $150 realistically, so it makes it really, really difficult to sell. So that's my thought on tariffs. I think, it really depends on your product, and technically you could still make it work if you ordered product in bulk, I think. Of course, I haven't tested this, but I think instead of, drop shipping one item at a time from China, because one item is going to cost you more to drop ship than if you are to order in bulk, right? You're going to be paying a premium price to ship it fast from China and to ship one item at a time, because typically factories don't like to ship one item. They want people to buy in bulk. So, I think if you're buying in bulk, it's going to cut your costs down by at least half. And because of that drop in cost, you can add the tariff cost into it, and you'd be able to make it work with the tariffs. So far, not that crazy of an issue unless you're drop shipping really cheap products. So look into high ticket if you're looking into e-commerce and drop shipping right now, or at least look into ordering in bulk or whatever you're trying to do. You can also try to sell in other countries, so Europe or Australia, wherever, just to try to get around the tariffs, because the tariffs are only in the U.S. So the only way you're going to get tariffed is if you are selling in the U.S. market. But yeah, as someone that's actually running an e-commerce store right now, it hasn't affected me. I just raised my prices, and I'm still getting lots of profit, and sales are still coming in. So that is the update for day 282. I'm going to try to keep doing this every single day. The only issue with that is, business isn't like something where something new happens every single day. So it might get a little repetitive of me saying the same things over and over again, but whatever. People aren't watching these anyways, so there's that. But I'll catch you guys in tomorrow's video.